Good evening, Crystal.
Good evening. How you doing?
I'm okay. We are blessed to have you on the show today.
Thank you. It's an honor.
Okay. Uh, we have heard a lot about you in the country. I think you are an ambassador for Cameroon and for Africa.
Really?
Some people don't really know. I think there are some people who still they have not gotten the insight of who Crystal is. Can you please introduce yourself to us?
My name is Crystal Beauty. That's actually my stage name. I'm the host of the Crystal Beauty Show. I'm also an actress, and I'm based in Boston.
Okay. Uh, from what I gathered, you did part of your schooling here in Cameroon before moving to the US.
Yes, I did.
How yes, how was that transition for you? Being a young girl in Cameroon and moving to the United States. Was there like were there times that you felt like uh this wasn't going to work properly in terms of like what were you expecting while moving to the US?
When I was moving to the US, honestly, I wasn't sure what to expect. You
Yeah.
know, but once I got here and I got into the school system, I actually realized that the school system is much more easier than what we have back home. So this transition for me when it comes to the education was very easy. So yeah, I think it's good. It's a good transition.
Now, let's talk a little bit about family.
Okay.
Living, because you left here not quite young, but I think you were not the way you are now.
Mm-hmm.
Was it painful to leave your family and leave some maybe part of your family here to move to the US?
Of course, of course, it's always hard to leave the people that you're used to and the people that you're around all the time. You have to make new friends. Basically, it's like you have to start. It's like starting all over, So yeah, that was definitely painful. But I got here and I do have family here, so it wasn't that much of a difference for me because it's still family. But when it comes to the friends, yeah, it was a tough thing to do to have to start making new friends. But apart from that, yeah, the transition was actually good for me.
Let's talk a little bit about what you do. You
Hmm.
have a show. You are a talk show host. You have a show on YouTube. Uh, how do you think that show reflects the African culture? And from like how does it represent their Africa or Africans in the diaspora?
Okay. The show actually is very diverse. It's not just for Africans. Okay,
Yeah.
but so far I've been doing a lot entertainment wise. Like I interview people that are into entertainment recently.
Yeah.
That's what I've been doing. But yeah, I do interview our Cameroonian celebrities as well. I interviewed
Yeah.
Naomi Achu, for example,
Yeah.
and I
I mean,
interview people from Africa. So, but
yeah.
it's not an African show. It's very
Okay.
diverse. It's very broad. So I just wanted to make that clear.
Okay.
Yeah.
But do you think people in the diaspora or not just people in the diaspora but people in America, do you think they really understand Africans and the African culture? Do they really understand us in your view?
Do you mean Americans or do you
Yes.
mean the Africans in America?
Americans.
Americans. I mean, I can't really speak for people, but I feel like those that want to know actually get to know about it. You know what I mean? But then there's people that just focus on what the news gives to them. But then there's other people that decide that they want to know more about Africa and they actually go out there and get the information that they need. So I can't really give you an answer for that because I'm not sure what people are thinking
Yeah.
in their minds. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, but now there are times that things do happen in Africa, and I'm sure you guys get the news back there. Are there times that you feel embarrassed of being an African?
No, never. I've never been embarrassed. Yeah. No.
What about if somebody tells you you are coming from, they call Africa a country, the country where there is blood diamond, or they made blood diamond?
Um I've never had someone say that to me. Actually, this is the first time I'm hearing that. But I mean, if somebody said that to me, I wouldn't take it offensive because it's just they're just being ignorant. That's what I would say. Like it all comes back to this point that people don't know, But then if they actually want to know, they actually go out there and get the information they need. But when people say those things, it means they are ignorant. They have no clue what Africa is about.
Okay, okay. Now, back in Africa, back home, back here, there is this communal spirit that we have in Africa.
Hmm.
Uh, do you get to interact with other Africans, and how is that relationship?
Yes, I definitely interact with Africans. Actually, most of my friends are Africans, and yeah, we definitely have. I think when Africans come to the US, there's that community spirit. They still have it. You're still gonna go out and you see Cameroonians hanging out with Cameroonians and Africans hanging with Africans. But yeah, I think we still have that when we come here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, you as somebody in the diaspora, Crystal, we have our brothers and sisters that struggle every day to get to the diaspora.
Mhm.
We get news every day that some of them die in the Mediterranean Sea, trying to cross over to Europe, trying to get to different parts of the world. Do you think is it really worth it for people to risk their lives like that to get to America, Europe, and some other parts of the world? Like you as somebody in the diaspora, you as somebody that is seeing everything firsthand. Do
Mhm.
you think Africa is that bad for people to live and risk their life to get to America?
I don't think Africa is that bad, okay? But at the same time, every country has its own thing. You know what I mean? Like in America too, we have issues here. It doesn't mean
Yeah.
that it's perfect. Every country has their own thing that they go through. So personally, I don't think people have to risk their life in order to come to the US. But at the same time, you don't know what people's situations are. You don't know what they are running away from. You know what I mean? So I really can't
Yeah.
speak for them. But at the same time, I don't think that you should be risking your life, just to come to the US. The US is just a country like every other country, but I think the only difference is that here you have more opportunities when it comes to education and jobs. Obviously, when I was in Cameroon, there's people in Cameroon with degrees and no jobs. I mean, even in America, there's also people with degrees and no jobs. You know what I mean? So I feel like this is like personal things. Everybody has their own reason for doing what they do, but either way, I don't think it's worth risking your life for. Yeah.
Like I said, you are in the media industry, and uh, do you think that the media has contributed like in changing the mindset of Africans to think that Africa is not a better place to stay and make it big in life? Like, do you think that the media has a role to play to give Africa the proper image that it deserves?
Yes, obviously the media is a big part of our society nowadays, And some, I won't say all of it, but some of it, they just, sometimes I watch commercials on TV and I see that they're posting only these negative things. You see a commercial about um people, they will say Africans need money for hunger and all this stuff. Yes, obviously there's people that need these things, but they portrayed in a way that make, if you're not African or you've never been to Africa, they give you that image that makes you feel like, oh, everybody there is like that. You know what I mean? They don't differentiate that, okay, there's some countries that are better off than other countries, or that there's some areas of a particular country that actually, succeeds. They just paint this image that makes you feel that the whole of Africa is like horrible. They make you feel like we live on trees, or we live with animals. But it's not every media that does that. I would like to point that out. Sometimes they do that, sometimes, some people don't do that. So yeah, it's different in every situation.
Yeah, it is. It is. Now, let's go back to your show. What really pushed or prompted you to do the show you're doing? Because I think it is a forum that is really helping to put out a lot of information out there. In terms, like you said, it's not just an African show. You
Hmm.
you you also carry out interviews with other people in the creative world. What is that motivating factor that prompted you to do a show like that?
When I started off, actually, I was looking at promoting Cameroonian talents. So
Okay.
I was more focused on the people that are not out there to get them on my show. That way, I put them out there. But later on, when I was building the show, I realized that I could make it broader. I don't have to focus just on, I could show the world what I want them to see. You know what I
Uh,
mean? Because I
yeah.
know, like, there's a lot of beauty out there. Okay, there's a lot of talent out there, and that's why I didn't want to focus the show on Africa or a particular, in part of entertainment. I just wanted it to be very broad because I just want people to see what is out there.
Yeah. Do you have any challenges doing a program like that?
Yeah, obviously. There's always challenges with everything you do, but it's all about being strong and not giving up. Yeah. I mean, when I started off, obviously, I had difficulties with equipment. I didn't have the appropriate equipment to carry out the show, but now I do, and it's amazing. So it's all about, you have a dream, work on it, and obviously challenges come, but you just have to fight them.
I'm sure, like any other host, you must have some people that you are still looking forward to talking to, like you want to have on the show. What some of those like because like I said, this show is an African show. What some of those African celebrities or people who have inspired you that you want to see on your program?
When it comes to African celebrities, I have a lot of people that I really, really admire because of their talent. But let's see. Probably someone like Omotola. I think, yeah, I love
Well,
her a lot because she's
uh,
very talented,
yeah,
and when it comes to her private life and her entertainment life, she knows how to work both,
yeah,
and
yeah,
that really is like wow. So
yeah.
it's inspiring. It gives you hope that, okay, even though you're into entertainment, you can still be a good person, you can still raise have a family and all that stuff. So yeah, I admire her, and I definitely want to have her on my show sometime.
You did an interview recently with a girl that claimed she got married to John Dumelo.
Mm-hmm.
Am I right?
Yeah, her
And
name is Harina. Yeah.
yes, going through all the comments, I saw that now there is division in opinion. People think she's lying, people think she's not lying, and stuff like that. How do you handle pressure when it comes to that?
um my job is not to find out if a story is true or not. That's not my job, okay? This girl came to me that she wanted to do this interview. She told me she's John Dumelo's wife and she wanted to put the story out there. You know what I mean? And like I said, my show is not limited. I welcome everybody to it. So to me, it's not, I mean, topics are actually very good because it's controversial. You get a lot of positive and negative comments,
Yeah, yeah,
and I think that's actually good because it means people are actually understanding what you're doing and they are interested in what you're doing. So that's why you get all this reaction. So I think when it comes to the pressure, I handle it good because I mean, no matter what you put out there, people are always gonna there's always gonna be comments, negative and positive. So it's not only her video in particular that got comments like that, but other videos too. People have
yeah.
their own opinions on how to view things. Yeah, but like I said, it's not my job to figure out if she's telling the truth or not. She says it's the truth, and it's just my job to put it out there. That's what she said. Those are her words. Now it's up to you as a viewer to listen to what she is saying and judge that for yourself if you think it's true or not. My job is just to report it. That's it.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
the Nigerian movie industry is growing so fast. I think it is getting into America. There are a lot of Americans now on YouTube that are watching Nigerian movies. Uh, but there is this thing now, even in Africa, Nigerian movies are becoming unpopular because they are doing a lot of nudity now,
Mm-hmm.
especially Nigerian Ghanaian movies. Uh, Now let's go back like what I was asking previously. When people start seeing movies like that in America, let's say Africans like you,
Mm-hmm.
um, what is the image? What? you as a communicator, what do you think people have in their minds, like looking at Africans? Who are we, like in terms of our culture, our values? Does that affect? Does that really affect the perception, the way people look at us now?
Okay. Well, like I mentioned earlier, I'm gonna talk for myself. I can't really talk for people. But personally, I don't watch those movies. When I mean, there's a lot of it out there now. And definitely it makes me wonder what's going on, because I remember back in the day where our movies, let's not just say Nigerian or Ghana, it's all, let's just put it all African, you know what I mean. Back in the day, our African movies was all about our culture, you know what I mean. It was very interesting. You could actually sit with your family and watch it. But these days it has all this nudity, and I don't even feel comfortable watching it, talk less of watching it with my parents, you know what I mean. So when I see that, I don't even, click on it to watch it. I can't even do it. So yeah, I mean, it doesn't change my image about Africa, though, because I'm African. I know where I'm from. I know what it's about. But movies, they just do the movies just to sell. You get the point. So the movie doesn't necessarily say that's what we're doing, but for people who are not African, they might think that's what we're doing.
Now, let's get a little bit about your fans. Let's talk about your fans.
Okay.
Yeah, do you have a forum where maybe you interact maybe on Twitter with your fans to like, do you have a forum that you have created to interact with your fans? Because I think your fan base now is quite big.
Mm-hmm.
Going through your Facebook the other day, I discovered that a lot of Cameroonians based here in Cameroon, resident here in Cameroon, are interested in your work. So do you have some kind of plan to make your fans get to know you more personal?
Yes. If you follow me on Facebook, you're gonna realize that once a week I dedicate time for my fans. Okay, I'm gonna put on my Facebook status is Chris Video Show fan time, and
Okay.
at that time, people just inbox me whatever they want to know, whatever suggestions they have, and I reply them. And apart from that, if you notice on every video I put out there, I always have my email address on it, and I have my website on it. You can contact me via my website. Definitely, you can contact me via Twitter. But I feel that people are more comfortable with Facebook these days. So I do get, request friendship requests and messages on Facebook and via my email. And definitely, whatever questions my fans ask me, if they're appropriate, I'll answer them. I'm always very connected with my fans, and yeah, you can ask any of them, and they'll tell you. If they send me an email, I just reply immediately. So I definitely keep that personal relationship with them.
Crystal, what do you
Yes.
miss most about Cameroon?
Huh. I miss not working.
Going to the farm?
Going to the farm, not really. I was never really a farm person. Yeah, I never really went to the farm. But I just miss that freedom, because I think in Cameroon, like, if you're a student, usually you just focus on school. You just
Yeah.
go to school, and
Yeah.
when you're done with school, before you worry about working. But here you find students working, so that freedom of just focusing on your studies, I miss that. But now I have to actually go to school, and I have to still work. So yeah, I think that's what I miss the most. And also, obviously, my family and my friends back home.
What are the things that you're comfortable in Cameroon and you're not comfortable in the US, or you're comfortable in the US and not comfortable in Cameroon?
mm, in the US, I think the good thing with it is that you have access to a lot of things. If you want to go to school, you can easily, just go to school, and you can easily get financial aid if you're eligible for it. And I mean, I'm a student, so that's why I'm probably focusing a lot more on the school thing. But in Cameroon, if you don't have money to pay your school fees like right away, you might not go to school. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
here in the US, you have that flexibility of, they have what we call payment plans. If you don't have all the money to pay at once, you can pay in installments, and so it's a little bit easier here to have access to certain things that back home, you have to actually go through a lot to have access to them.
Wow. If you are if you can say a word
Hmm.
to Africans watching and listening to you now, what would that be?
Hmm. I would say they should just be themselves. I mean, just work hard. If you're a student, study hard and be yourself. Pray and just be a good person.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have any future prospects?
With regards to my career,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. I'm right now. I'm focused on my talk show, but for what I have for my show, I'm thinking of getting the show on TV. That's my next step. So I'm trying to, because right now it's more online. It's
Yeah.
on my website, it's on YouTube and other websites. But I'm trying to see if I can actually get them on TV, and I'm definitely planning to get it on the Cameroonian TV station. So that's what I'm working on right now.
Wow. Cameroon is waiting for you. Christian, any plans to come back to Cameroon? My last question.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I did visit Cameroon like 3 years ago, and definitely I'm planning to visit again. I'm actually, if it's possible, I'd like to do my show there down there sometime. Because I do know that Cameroon has a lot of talented people. It's really
Yeah.
like they are doing a great job. The producers and actors down there are doing a great job. So I'm looking forward to having some of them on my show.
Crystal, thank you very much for being on the program today.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.